This weekend, lawmakers in Washington managed to prevent a government shutdown rather than cause one. The last-minute temporary funding deal comes with consequences for House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, though, after fellow Republican Florida Representative Matt Gaetz filed a resolution Monday to oust him. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane has more.
48 hours after a shutdown that would have stripped the paychecks of millions of federal workers.
The motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy risks being stripped of his job. Florida Republican Matt Gaetz, a notoriously fierce critic, is planning an attempt to oust the speaker, slamming him for working with Democrats.
It is going to be difficult for my Republican friends to keep calling President Biden feeble while he continues to take Speaker McCarthy's lunch money in every negotiation.
Despite being pressed by CBS News, Democratic leaders haven't said if they'd join the effort to target McCarthy. If they did, only a handful of his Republican colleagues need to vote against McCarthy to put him in danger.
It is what it is, and I'm going to just focus on what the American people want.
Americans and counting.
Some Republicans are also calling for the ouster and prosecution of New York Democrat Jamal Bowman, a former middle school principal who they accuse of pulling a House office building fire alarm to delay the tense proceedings Saturday. Bowman apologized and said he thought the alarm would open a locked doorway as he rushed to votes. The House Administration Committee and U.S. Capitol Police are investigating. Meanwhile, President Biden is urging Congress to restore aid for Ukraine.
Too many lives are at stake, too many children, too many people.
Which was cut this weekend to appease some conservative Republicans who think taxpayers have spent enough. Is there any risk in waiting to provide that aid?
Certainly on the battlefield, but more importantly, the risk comes in what our partner nations are saying.
And Scott MacFarlane joins me now from Capitol Hill. Scott, the next deadline, November 17th. What happens between now and then, and especially with respect to this question of Ukraine? The president seemed to suggest that he had some kind of an agreement with the House Speaker. The House Speaker maybe is not on board with that. What's the story?
This feels like such a bunch of aftershocks after the weekend earthquake. Like, things keep rattling here, even though we've got a 45-day deal to keep the government open. Let's start with that Ukraine question. The Republican who wants to oust Speaker McCarthy, Matt Gaetz of Florida, accuses McCarthy of cutting a secret side deal with the White House guaranteeing Ukraine money before the end of the year. Kevin McCarthy, speaking to CBS and other reporters tonight, said no, there's no secret side deal. The president, though, made an allusion to a possible agreement with Speaker McCarthy. And today, as he left the White House to shouted questions from reporters, he did not respond. Just the accusation that McCarthy and the president have a deal is going to cause more trouble for Speaker McCarthy, who's under fire, John, for what? For cutting deals with the White House on the government spending and earlier this year on the debt ceiling.
Scott MacFarlane, thanks so much.
Thank you.